Nishma. Hi. Are you still muted, Najma? Okay.
The heart loves to connect.
But so far out, it's like it shows up as one loving to connect, and then as we sit quietly, it recognizes it's already connected.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Sandra.
Good morning, everyone. Good
Hi.
morning. Hi. Isaac, I came across of a pattern I would look with you more deeply into it, and maybe it's just resting together in it. In my work, but it could also be in family. It's my role is to help people as a coach, as a job coach. And just the other day, I could see that because of COVID, maybe more people have severe psychological problems also. And I could see that the more despaired people are when they are coming, that somehow this split is happening in the system here, you know, that when it's so strong that it's somehow it seems to be not possible anymore to just flow and be life. And I just would look into it with you, you know, just because I think that I guess the best assistance would be just to be with them and then to see what is coming up and, you know.
You know, it's like everything is dependent on our focus of attention.
Yeah.
So there's a habit of attention that produces some sense of separation, some sense of time, space, all of that stuff. And then there's a resting where it kind of comes to a still point and there is no time, there is no boundaries, there's nothing. And from the one habit of attention, everything feels existential, or, you know, we don't have what we want. We're trying to get to what we want, and so we start to rush and stress and all that stuff. And when we're resting, it's all here. There's nothing here and everything here.
Yeah, yeah. And you see,
so you know what allows that shift? Certainly not thought. Certainly, you know, I mean, to me, it seems like the deeper the resting, the deeper the invitation, where somehow we come into, you know, resonant frequency or something like that. And you know, there's certain frequency problems seem very real, or all of that stuff. Another frequency, yeah, they don't even exist.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like that. How do we function in life where, like, the programming and conditioning has all been, you know, looking through a familiar filter to, yeah. But it's so funny because it doesn't mean we don't see what's going on. It's just like, but the involvement in it and it's gentle. I don't know how, it's just, yeah, there's a see, there's a recognizing.
Yeah, I can see actually that there is a thought coming in that I should help because they come to see me and it's my task to assist them.
Yeah,
You know?
then that for sure would create stress.
Yeah.
Just that idea. You know, and I know you know this, that actually the core of every help is loving presence. It's not about trying to help someone outside, because that would be just keeping that separation habit, you could say, that frequency. So I find it a beautiful question because it's like, just finding that bridge between, it looks like there's someone that's coming to you for help. And there's that invitation where there is no one.
Yeah.
And then what's left is just flow or frequency or love. I mean, then we run out of words, actually. Just
Yeah, I can see that in those moments, really the focus goes away, and now it's in just resting. It feels like
it's at home, yeah.
and the body is filled up with energy completely, and it's like leaving home when that split happens.
Yeah. And it's familiar and it's habitual. And so, like the fact that you're starting to notice that is huge. It's fantastic. It's just like there's a learning going on.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, it's like this loving presence feels so good. Thank you so much.
Exquisite. Yeah,
Yeah.
just exquisite.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mukti.
Hi.
Hi, Mukti. As we rest like this, do you sense there's any boundaries or just space?
Yeah, just a space.
Fantastic. Yeah. No problems, no, just whatever you want to call this. I call it love, but yeah, not the personal kind of in love story, but just love everywhere.
It's there's a lot of seeing the different movements of the mind and trying to ignore it and keep trying to stay present.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Samya.
Hello, Isaac.
Hi, Samya.
Isaac, there's such an activation happening in me. I can see it's coming from the past. I think it's coming from my father and grandfather, because they have been in war. And now in Europe, it's happening with Russia and the West, this confrontation. I don't know if you have heard about it. And it causes such a panic in me.
Yeah.
Yes. And this, I just want to sit with you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. You speak it and you see it very clearly. And just to recognize it doesn't mean anything about you. It's just touching old information, yeah?
Okay, thanks.
And yeah, that information is coming up in a love of truth, in a love of love, you know, so it's welcome here. There's nothing that needs you, you know, because the tendency is then to think there's something wrong with me, or I need to get rid of it, or I need to deal with it.
Yeah.
But just let that you are already, let that just be the space of this. Not for yourself, but for really for the benefit of all beings.
Yeah.
because I'm 100% sure you're not the only one that's getting activated in the current circumstances. You know, there's so much going on the planet right now. I mean, it's just like, yeah. You know, sometimes we might look and say, how did it happen that someone like Hitler came into power, or Stalin, or Mao Zedong, or you know, any of these movements where, like, the world moved into totalitarianism, yeah. And we're watching the same thing happen now, you know, like we're just watching, and it's like, yeah.
It makes, yeah.
And so, you know, it's like, and yet our love is to be the peace in the midst of no matter what's happening. So it doesn't matter even if activation happens, yeah? We know what we love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so overwhelming. It seems so overwhelming, all this.
At this moment, how is it right now? Just
No,
this moment.
no.
Yeah, just take a moment. Just check how it is in this moment. Just resting here together, holding hands.
Yeah.
Nothing to solve, nothing to fix. Letting the chemicals of that activation, of that overwhelm, just move through the body, not picking them, not fighting with them or trying to get rid of them.
Yes. This is a warm feeling, and it's tingling in the hands, and it feels connected. But still, there is something I think I have to do something. I don't know what, but it feels I cannot just sit here and move how the world goes down. I don't know.
Yes, I understand. You know, like there's a way of being that you could say is not present to what's happening because it's too much.
Yeah.
That's a trauma response. And then there's a way of being gently present, of seeing what's happening and resting, and then seeing if a movement comes out of that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there is a seeing, and it's like how to be in that seeing without going into the overwhelm, without going into, So you see clearly, and you're holding that in a gentle. And if an action comes, it'll show you.
Yeah. Okay.
But that needing to act, that comes from a existential response. It's not a true response. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So just making those little distinctions and saying, okay. You're not taking action. You're present.
Yeah.
And that has an effect.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
It's like, I loved it, you know, when I went to see Papaji, he would start every satsang with, let there be peace and love amongst all beings of the universe. Let there be peace, let there be peace, let there be peace. Just sitting there here in this, but not from this freaked out place, but from this place of love, just that. Let there be peace, let there be peace.
Yeah.
Let there be.
Thank you so much, Isaac. Thank you.
Oh, sweetheart, thank you for asking this question, because for me it benefits my heart, and I'm sure everybody gets benefit from it.
Thank you.
Sylvie.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Sylvie.
Hi. Thursday, I have my third lawsuit, and just wanted to rest with you. My body doesn't like it so much, so
So I didn't hear what happened Thursday. What?
Thursday, I'm having my third lawsuit against our state.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, cool.
So my body is a bit anxious. Yeah,
Yeah, so just noticing that,
yeah.
just gently noticing it, and just, tracking. It's just like anything that starts to move into wanting to win, all of that stuff. You just
Yeah.
you doing, somehow your steps took you to this, standing up in that way. And now it's not in your hands anymore, you did your part.
Mm-hmm.
And, in a way you could say, just the noticing that there's some stress or some anxiety with it is your part,
Yeah.
but not identifying with it, not going with it. It's just, okay, yes,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. So just gently noticing it, and just starting to see where there, without meaning to, some identification crept in there. Yeah, I need to win, or I'd like to win. That's not in your hands anymore. So you just show up there as what you love. Just feel how that feels in your body, just to hear those words, those sounds, that vibration. See what that does in you, what it invites in you.
Yeah, it's directly releasing. Yeah. but it's hard to let go of not wanting to win.
In
Yeah,
a sense, that's the that's what this is for. In a way, you could say that wanting to win is like war. And so
Yeah.
you stay in the noticing of it and recognizing, okay, yes, wow, there is that wanting to win in me. Oh, I see it. And I understand it. It's human in a certain way. But really, is that what I'm here for? Or am I here for something bigger, something more beautiful? And
yeah,
that's not a question. It's not a question of trying to get rid of it or change it. It's just
yeah.
like really seeing deeply into it. It's like, okay, yes, I notice that wanting to win. I get it. Wow.
And there's also the recognition of it now that maybe I have to lose, and then other steps will come that are necessary in this process. So
Who knows? And even
yeah,
what does winning and losing means?
yeah,
You know, somehow your journey took you to this point, and in it, how much is revealed already? Yeah, and now you just letting this
yeah,
wanting to win reveal, and how beautiful is that's a win in of itself. You know, so it's in some, you know, in one sense, we can see that what's playing out is the shadow, you could say, in consciousness.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's what we're interested in is that frequency of love, peace, beauty. Not that anything's wrong or bad. It's just that they have different frequencies, you know, and they produce different senses of reality.
Different flavors.
Different flavors. Yeah. Some are nightmares, some are
Yeah.
ecstasy. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. It feels so much more open and in peace again. Yeah.
Happy to hear, Sylvie. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Oh. Lily.
Hi.
Hi, Lily.
Um, oh, um, I want to ask you something, and then I really am grateful to sit with you after, please. Where I live, the next door neighbors have got an aircon that now needs servicing probably, and it vibrates, and I can't sleep as it is, but that really disturbs. Something in my heart was saying, don't do anything about it. And I don't understand that, because it can't be good for them either to sleep with that vibration above their head. And it's not for me either. And I don't understand that. And I thought, okay, maybe I need to approach it with a different energy, perhaps.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, we don't know their circumstance. We don't know if they don't have money enough to fix it. We don't know.
Yeah, they're renting
So-
there. There's an owner, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, whether or not,
Yeah.
so there's so many variables, but it doesn't hurt to be in communication and just say, look, you know, that the air conditioning is vibrating and it's, you know, for me, it's difficult. Is there any possibility to address it? It doesn't hurt just to ask. You know, you can go in fighting, or you can go in just, what's possible? Yeah, and just checking. And then,
Because there's also, I could sense some fear rising now as we were doing this. And it's really, I don't know where that comes from, but okay. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's like the difficulty is we haven't really been schooled or taught in how to communicate in an unactivated way, especially when it is something that has activated us. So then it's like, how dare they not notice it? How dare they, you know? So already when we go to communicate, we're already communicating from an activated place, from a righteous place or whatever. And then we know what comes from that. Again, war. And so it is an opportunity. Okay, well, you know, something doesn't understand. But of course, how can we understand if we don't even communicate? We don't know what the circumstances.
It was so clear and subtle the way it came in that I could not listen to that. And yet I thought I need to change the way I do it. And
yeah, so it's
now
it's inviting a deeper seeing, just seeing, okay, something gets touched because, you know, it's it's something going on. I mean, you know, that's what I've noticed, and I'm sure many of us have noticed that, is that like in a certain frame of mind, sounds will trouble, and another frame of mind, you don't even hear them. They don't bother you at all. You know, so it's not the sounds. It's you know,
the
it's
receiving
like,
of it and the perception.
yeah, when something in us goes into a position, and you know, like no, something happens in us, and then it's the simple capacity to speak or to talk about it is not there.
Yes, because he was like, don't do anything, or he was very subtle, and then but I cannot not do anything.
Yeah, because otherwise we're in if we don't have the capacity just to speak, then in a way we you know, it's like we can become a victim of our own perspective.
Oh yeah. Thank you for that, because it was as if it was turning on to me if I didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, like one of the beautiful things about going to India was, man, it's such a different culture. You know, sometimes, you know, I'd be in a home where there were two temples within earshot, and like 4 o'clock in the morning, they both start blasting out this music that's distorted because it's you know, and different, not the same music. And it's like you're laying there and it's like, oh wow. And then in that circumstance, there wasn't really much that I could do. You know, clearly there's no possibility to do anything. So then how to find a way to be in it that doesn't go into fighting with it or resistance in some way.
Yeah.
And so, and then finding, okay, well, there's a way of being in it where it's just, oh, this is India. This is just.
What
And
it
then,
is. That's what it is.
yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. And then some of them
Ah.
that. So in a way, there's always these opportunities, endless, like finding where something in us goes into, an organization that doesn't, that goes into a fight, goes into something. Yeah.
Right. Well, I send the email now. I'm going to reread it and send good vibes with it. Something like that. Anyway, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was written nicely, but observational, not necessarily an issue or a victim or a problem with. But let's sort this out. That's all.
Yeah. Beautiful. So you're on the right track, and just,
Yeah.
just reread it and see. Emails are a funny thing, because you don't see a person's face, you don't have the human connection, and so sometimes it's easier to really have a, like to meet and say, hi, I'm your neighbor, and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because emails are so easy to, it's like, misinterpret in my experience anyway.
No, it's true. It's true. It is for a property manager and all that, and the owners are in the country, but it could be done. I see. No, definitely. Oh, wow. The movement in my
Look,
heart.
these are just suggestions, Lillian. You see for yourself what's true. Maybe an email is the right way for you. I don't know. Just see. It's like, but I don't know your circumstance. So just speaking what comes across my screen when this comes up. That's all. And you see what resonates for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Oh.
Where I live, some nights the ocean is really loud, and I would never dream of telling the ocean to shut up. And once in a while, the wind comes from the other direction, and I hear the highway. And same thing. It's highway noise, and the one I can say, oh, I don't like highway noise. But it's just different sounds in a way. It's like, okay, people on their way somewhere where they want to get to. And then sometimes it's really quiet, or birds, or.
what is this movement that just now wants to get away? And that's not what the system really wants or needs.
Yeah. And it's beautiful just to notice, you know, it's like, wow, we have all this old conditioning and information and slowly starts to come into view. How lucky, you know.
It was so gorgeous because the moment I said it, it was like, I love you straight away to it. Like, yeah. Wow. Oh, beautiful.
Mhm.
Wow. What a gift. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. So all that ever changes is our habit of attention, you know. And the thing then is our habit of attention who we are? Because, you know, when from a certain habit of attention, it feels like there's something wrong with us. There's something that we need to fix and change and work on. But you know, the big question is that habit of attention who we are? Was it an old conditioning, old information that's, because once we can see it's not who we are, you know, then it's, okay, then what allows the attention to really start to meet the moment as beloved, meet this. Then it becomes a love affair rather than this, you know, spiritual search or working on ourselves or any of those other modalities. It's just
So the habit of my attention is like, it's just a habit, right?
It's just a habit, usually conditioned and also influenced by old trauma.
Yeah, I can feel like a tendency of controlling the moment in it.
Yeah.
And then the
And
flow
even to
is
call
just stopping.
and even to call it my attention, you know, when it's automatic and unconscious, who does it belong to? It's just like a habit. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's just, it belongs to a certain family dynamic, family system, you know, I mean, ultimately there is no to it. It's all the great intelligence, you know, and so as our systems get finer, we start to notice, okay, wow, there is a habit there. I didn't recognize it. So familiar, I never saw it even. It was just like filtering everything. Then you have a moment where we meet beyond that habit and you go, oh, wow, this is beautiful. And if you taste that for a second, wow, it's, you know, in a sense, it breaks the spell. Because it's simple, it's here, it's just. When you sense how our hearts are meeting at this moment.
Very sweet.
Yeah, sweetness itself. Eh?
I still feel like a holding back that it's happening, but yeah, it's very sweet.
Exquisite, exquisite. So just noticing that holding back. If it was up to you, would that holding back be there?
No.
Okay,
Definitely not.
Exactly. So whatever that holding back is, it's, you could say it's old information. You see, what happens is we notice the holding back and then we try and change it or fix it or wanting to do something about it. Because we sense it. It's like, okay, yeah, there's a holding back. Wow. But just honoring it. Somewhere along the line, that was how your system survived or stayed safe or whatever it. And we just come to this moment. Okay, there's a holding back. I get it. I see it. And then coming to it in this moment. Is it necessary or useful right now? Not trying to change it or fix it, just asking the question. And already just something's changing. But what I found, usually we have to ask that question sometimes many times because the system, it's had a function up to now. But if we repeat it a few times, it's like, okay, is it necessary or useful right now?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. That's clear. That's clear. And then just see when the system gets new information, you know, because when it's trauma-based, it always projects it onto the moment as if it's necessary right now. But when we look and say, no, it's not necessary. Okay, so something does. Oh, okay, cool. Maybe it can relax just even a little bit.
I'm drunk already.
let's see if there's a limit to how drunk we can be together. Yeah.
Oh, the sweetest of wine. I just wanted to share something. Like 8 months ago, this dog has bitten me, right?
Yeah.
And it was like such a strong transmission or whatever happened to kiss the moment, literally, like in such intense way, like taking in aggression. And it's really today, 8 months ago, and I received a message from the owner that the dog has all of a sudden cancer in his mouth, and also like a big like cancer in the throat. So she needs to be put down. And it was like I felt so much compassion and love for this dog. And I really wish that she has no pain. And but I also can see that, true or not true, something has integrated, and it's just like a reflection of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today was an interesting day numerologically, and it was the 2nd of the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022. So it's like just an interesting, whatever that means. I have no idea, but somehow.
No idea.
Yeah.
It's very interesting for me too, just like a reset of something, and
Cycles of cycles of cycles. Yeah. So,
yeah. So
who knows what that was, in a way, you know, just like, so there was a receiving of the gift, and yeah, it didn't leave a scar that I can see through my camera. But,
yeah, it's a little bit, but I don't care. I like it.
yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
I won't change it or have any kind of surgery.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Mary. Beauty. Vedanta.
Hello, Isaac. Again, still strong touch in the solar plexus. It's really just following again and again. And last night, I was digesting something around.
I'm going to just stop you for a second.
Yes.
When we say again.
Okay. Yeah.
Already just in that, there's a certain way of looking in that where there's a resistance.
Yes. Yes.
And so just to take a moment and just, the resistance is okay. It's not wrong. It's not bad.
Oh, but good to see
just
it.
Just to see it. Okay. Just sense how it sits in the body and in the mind. It's not wrong. It's not bad. But just welcome somewhere.
You know, I like to speak what often works in me, you know, when something I came to you and then I feel, oh, now I really want to be quiet and not coming a few times, you know, there is a judgment also really going on.
Okay. Yeah. All part of the resistance. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, yeah. So how beautiful that we get just to see that. Yeah. Not wrong, not bad. Just
it's a relief. It's a relief. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And just meeting fresher just now. And if there's a resistance, welcome. No problem.
Yeah.
Nothing to fix, no one to fix it. Just resting.
It's really this idea now it needs to be gone. Uh,
How much of our lives do we live through this idea of it needs to be gone?
yeah.
Such a familiar filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just this tenderness, how you say it, is just touched me.
Oh, sweetheart. Yeah. No, it's just occurring to me how in many of us, I mean, I'd say all of us at some point have had the experience where there's like being very hard inside ourselves to a certain feeling, certain sensation, or whatever, and it's like, again, usually with good intentions, I don't want it anymore, it's uncomfortable, or whatever, it is. And So it plays in a funny kind of way, but how does that then translate out into how the world functions? You know, like I was just like in Italy at the moment, there's quite a lot of people, I think more than 500,000 who haven't wanted to get the jab. And now they considered like they've chosen not to be part of society and they have no right to anything anymore. So, but it's like that same kind of movement that just translates out and so it's so beautiful. It doesn't look like much to really see these little things in ourselves, but man, you know, it's like as that comes to peace in us, does it have a ripple out into the, you know, into the field?
Yes.
It's like we can look at that and judge it in Italy or go, wow, that's really, and then of course, you know, it's like that's brutal, it's violent, it's divisive, all that stuff. But just finding how does that live in consciousness? What are the seeds of that, you know? And it's like, I saw a funny meme. Someone posted on Facebook. It was like, you know, if I have a scissors that doesn't work well, and I don't want to use it because it doesn't work, I'm not anti-scissors.
What is anti? I don't understand.
Anti, you know. Yeah, so yeah, it's a language thing. Yeah. So, you know, like a lot of people say you're anti-vax or you're anti whatever, but
anti, okay, anti, yeah.
Yeah, anti,
yes.
yeah. So like,
yeah,
I'm just, you know, if something doesn't work, then I'm not anti it. It's just like I see that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, really.
So same thing with this mechanism of, there's a mechanism playing in us that wants to get rid of or wants to change. I'm not anti that. It's just, okay, I just see that the way it works causes difficulty. That's all. It's
yeah. I not here, but inside I feel this movement, you know, when this is a hardness or a pushing away or something like this. Without understanding right now what's going on, and I don't have to, but I can sense it. You know, I don't know if it's still needed to speak, but last night it's something about a very good friend, and she is on a different side with COVID, also looking at it than me, you know. And there is an entanglement that in our speaking since 2 years already, that something is shrinking in me, and it looks like she put out what she wants and something in me shrinks. And this night I was digesting it, and I feel like I need to speak up, just that the contact is not free in this point, it felt, and something like this. And but I can see this movement, this right, wrong, yes, no, but there is a hardness always, like there would be something to, you know, one to this side, one to the other side, but it is not
exactly
lovely.
And you know, usually what happens is we get into an argument about what the subject seems to be, but it's never about that. It's an energetic thing that's going on. And so, you know,
I really can,
we can never solve it at the level of the problem. You can argue about this till you know, forever. It will never resolve there.
Yes.
So taking the opportunity. Okay, there's a different perspective, but there's an energy with that different perspective of righteousness and you're wrong, whatever the story is, and then just seeing, when our system gets met by that, what happens in us. And we know that righteousness. We've all experienced it many thousands of times. And okay, so that comes up. I know it well, and then it goes into a split.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel the pain.
And it's painful.
Yes.
Yeah, it's painful. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it feels like a split. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's really needed just to meet new in this point. Otherwise, I mean, but to speak from the heart and not with arguments, not about the.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. If we stay on the subject,
Yes.
if it seems that it's the subject, it's not about that at all.
It's not really. Yes.
Yeah.
I really can connect with again dynamic between my parents, and what I was putting in. I really can see all the fence around it, and then also a lot of rawness or fear. Something like this is just playing in the solar plexus. Maybe I speak with her and just my whole system goes like this, but it doesn't matter actually. Not just.
Yeah. If you can say, look, we can agree to disagree about stuff. That's not so important. But are we interested in meeting in a different frequency? Can we meet as love? Regardless of if we have a different perspective, that's not so important. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And maybe, again, it's like anytime we go to speak, it's like somehow we have this idea of standing up, but for a viewpoint, for a perspective, rather than standing up for as love, for love.
Yes.
Big difference. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Yes. And I could really watch like arguments in the mind, then something is just painful, then again arguments, then this was the night, like
for sure.
up down, and
I mean, I know that so well in myself. I tell you.
Yeah.
It's a fire right now. We're all burning in that fire.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Vielen, vielen Dank. Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks for that. Antje.
Hello, Isaac.
Where do you know this, Antje?
Sweetness.
Sweetness?
Sweetness.
Yes, but there's also something else going on. There's like, yes.
It's sweetness and it's a little bit sadness in the heart.
Okay.
And it is endless. I don't know how this is coming up. It's endless.
Okay.
Without interpreting or something.
Yeah. So just like, yeah, so we're here now. There's sweetness and there's whatever else that is that's going on. It's okay. Don't have to understand it. Don't have to fix it.
What it's coming up now is since months there is I have lost an old friend, and since months there's a feeling I have to write him that I miss him, and on the other side the feeling of it's not good. And
Okay, so let's just stop right here. Okay. So there's some sense that there's something wrong
yes,
and you need to do something about it.
yes. Yes. And the old pattern of the old pattern of I have to do something.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yes. And to do it in the right way.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden there's stress, yeah?
Yes.
Pressure, stress. Very familiar, old habit, yeah, I'm sure. You know, if we ask how many people know that habit.
And it is so in between so sweet. It's not so easy to see it immediately. Yes, it's not so.
Yeah, that's why I said, let's just, what do you notice, so that we can start to name it, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And so then together we can see, okay, there's just a dynamic going on. It catches the attention. And when it catches the attention, like that produces a certain vibration of frequency.
Yes.
And our whole system starts, you know, our brain waves start to vibrate at that frequency. Everything, the world starts to be seen through that perspective.
And when I look in this moment, this moment, I can feel there is a sadness still.
Well, the sadness would be an interpretation, aren't you?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a sensation, like, you know, like, and see if you can actually just describe the sensations, not just like the air doesn't go through fully, or
no, it's wavering.
Yeah. And
It's a
then
wavering.
is it the same? And then is it the same on the right side as the left side? Is it more to the front of the body, more to the back of the body? Just making subtle distinctions.
More in front of the body.
Yeah, and more on which side? Right side, left side, or in the middle?
It's middle.
Middle. Okay. To me, I feel it more on my right side.
Okay.
But anyway, doesn't matter. Everyone might perceive it differently. We're just looking. Yeah? Does it have a texture or a? What do you? Is it a fog? Is it a very light mist? Is it? What is it? The heavy thunder shower.
I don't understand the last thing.
You know, like rain. Sometimes it's raining very heavily. Sometimes it's like it's just a mist. Sometimes it's a fog, really thick.
No, it's not. It's not so painful. It's I cannot name it. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. It's not easy to name sensations. Yeah. Is it hot? Is it cold? Does it have a color?
No, it's really a feeling of wavering. I have no other words.
Wavering. Good, cool. And when you don't name it as sadness, just call it some kind of a wavering. What happens? Laughter happens.
Oh. Whew, okay.
You know, I mean, it's fun. You know, it's like we notice something and then our thinking wants to attach it to something and then we want to fix that something.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
it's like,
yes.
just
The
goes so
very old
quickly.
habit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And how's it now with your nose now?
Amazing. Always amazing.
More easier to rest now. Huh? Cool. Thanks,
Thank you.
Auntie. Yeah, good. Ah, Mahima. Hi.
Hi, Isaac.
I realized tonight there was a lot of activation in the system, and but I didn't realize, I say, how much or how strong it was. And with every sharing tonight in the Sangha, I started feeling softening with each interaction. And then I felt some releasing with tears, and even I didn't even realize I'm going to not even say tight, numb. Now I'm feeling more tightness and even achiness in here. It's like that I was holding so much, I think. That's just, I'm just trying to doing what you're saying to kind of feel into it, you know.
Yeah.
And I just like, I feel like I haven't been that love, you know. It's like, I mean, I'm not hate, but it's like I see now, it's like there's a lot of resistance and fighting. Like I want this all to go away. And I thought
So
maybe
just let's just stop for a second. If it was up to you consciously, that's the way it would be, yeah?
yeah.
Just, yeah. So you can see that there's some automatic, unconscious movements happening that you're not doing. If it was up to you, it would not be happening. Okay, so somehow in this expression of totality, there's an interest in love, peace, beauty. And that's rubbing up against the conditioning, the trauma load of all our ancestors. It's not personal. It's just like, so it's nothing you're doing wrong. It's nothing like that. It's just like your function at this point is to so gently see what's happening within your in consciousness. Gently be available for that to come to peace. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not a doing. It's just this knowing what you're here for. Anytime the system responds from old information or from trauma, no problem with that. Like using every moment that it's possible to explore it, just to be present to it. That's what we all here together for. We're all in the same boat, I'll tell you. And so in a sense, you know, like as a species, we're facing all the unconsciousness that's playing in consciousness, you know. So how can we be available to that unwinding, that not to get anywhere, just because that's what we're here for.
So to not be, I don't know the words, they're not coming to me. Not to be not trying to make it better. I'm not going to be
exactly.
So that's fighting more.
Yeah. Not to be a victim of the unconscious patterns. You know, I mean, it's so quick that it looks at that we're a victim of those unconscious patterns. But the fact that they're showing up where there's an opportunity to be present and explore, I would say that's such grace.
Yeah, tonight I'm seeing more that how much there's been a shutdown. You know, it's been more isolation going on for me. I haven't been online with anything with you even the last couple of weeks, and I wasn't like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's just, I feel like I'm just, I don't know what I'm doing emotion.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
was
get
just
it.
like,
I get it. Look, yeah.
okay, I just need to be quiet in here, but in
And then it brought you to this moment, right here,
yes,
right
thank you.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you just here. The past is gone. You see it, great, but just coming back here. And here there's a common interest.
Thank you.
Meeting this moment as the beloved. That's it. Nothing to change, nothing to fix. Doesn't matter how many times, our system has gone into the old patterns. Come again, come again, come again. It's really, yeah. And how beautiful that you can come and then noticing where things have tightened and you notice releasing. How
Oh
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. It's just body really speaks. But even the word sometimes gentleness just touches, just
Push, yeah.
slowing down, it's like gentle, tender. And it's like I can be that way with others often, but it's in here. There's this pattern that runs when there's something that
In the
I'm
past,
not
in the past, up till now.
in
the past, up till now. Yeah,
up till
yeah.
now.
Just this moment coming back to gentleness.
Ah.
The moment it gets hard, it just feeds it in an unhealthy way.
Say that last part again, Isaac.
The moment it gets hard inside, it feeds it in an unhealthy way. So, it's just to notice, and it is habitual, that thing. The hardness is trying to help us to finish a pattern or something, but it doesn't work. Just recognizing it doesn't work.
Well, it's good to
okay.
recognize it, right? That it's there.
Yeah.
And then
for
just
sure.
say, up until now. And now
been
I
a
can
hard
go
one.
gentle. I can just,
Yeah, exactly.
it's okay, gentle.
Yeah. And honoring that, that habit to be hard. It's meant well. It's just, it really has meant well at all. It just didn't see that it wasn't working. And once it's seen it's not working, then gentleness can happen.
I never even saw this here as being hard, it's like that doesn't feel like true nature,
Yeah, because like the habit of being a seeker, the habit of trying to get somewhere, all of that stuff, working on ourselves.
Yeah.
It's been a familiar model, and it's like, okay.
I think this is more of having this againstness of what's going on and how I don't like it. And then I say, okay, I'm not going to think about that anymore. I get busy with something, but then it just impacts, there's it's not real, it's like I'm not just stopping and seeing and resting with it, or inviting it or whatever.
And just to see that whatever your system did up to now was just the best it knew. And we just going deeper with the inquiry, just seeing where it was just doing what it knew to try and survive, you could say. What's its perception. We don't know if what's going on is like, the seed of the greatest awakening that's ever happened for humanity or the end of us. We don't know.
those thoughts come in for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, sometimes I don't even want to be on Facebook anymore. I want to turn it all off and just not know
That's cool.
anything. But then I don't. That's my connection to the outer world in a way, to people that I have some resonance with. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Great to take a moment just to stop it.
Thank you for your love and gentleness.
Thank you for receiving and seeing it, and then that's the same thing in you that sees it and appreciates it. Yeah. Thanks, Lionel. Okay. Thank you, Sylvie, for hosting. Thanks, beloveds, for showing up.